This was recorded at the Media Joint.
In Vegas, traveling with a couple of friends.
Love a Vegas story.
Yeah.
Love a Vegas story.
Vegas, baby. I don't know how anyone in the public profile scene dates someone else with a public profile.
Yeah.
Love to date someone with a profile. We could travel, upload travel content, live the life. You know what I mean? Like travel to Brazil.
That is so rogue.
Oi, that's a bit rogue.
Is it even that rogue?
On your marks. Get to go.
Welcome back to another episode of A Bit Rogue with Skye and Tori. Skye, what's been happening?
I have had a bit of strange events happen, and I'm going to just share one of them because I just think it's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
I live in a high-rise building and the windows were getting cleaned and my dog was barking, so I ran out to the balcony, as she should. Stranger danger. And there was just a window cleaner, doing the balcony and whatever. And we looked eyes. He smiled at me and I just was like in my jammies feeding my kids. So I was just like, see ya. And then later that night, I noticed that someone was going through my Instagram photos and liking them. And it was the window cleaner. And I know some people might think that that's like nothing. But to me, that is just like so...
It's like an invasion of privacy.
It's just like, that's my home. And, I live there by myself. And, as much as I put myself out online, I do live a very private life outside of that.
Of course.
And yeah, I just
now
thought,
this person knows like exactly your apartment number. He's seen you through the window in a workplace. Like, yeah, that's just super uncomfortable.
Super weird. So obviously I told the building manager and everything. But yeah, I just thought that is such a weird thing to happen. And, there wasn't a message to be like, hey, I know this is so weird. I'm so sorry. It was just like going through and liking my photos.
That's really uncomfortable. Like you do that if you like meet a guy on a night out, not if you fucking see them through the bloody window of their apartment because you're on a job. That's so inappropriate.
Yeah, it was not cool.
Wow.
But,
okay.
Yeah, anyway. Anything else on the horizon for you, Dal? Anything
Well,
happen?
nothing's really happened. I've been boring actually not as per usual, but just last few weeks, been getting ready because I'm going to Bali on Sunday. So in light of going to Bali on Sunday, I wanted to give some recommendations because everyone always hits me up and is like, where do I go out? What do I do? And it is constantly changing over there, like what's cool and where to go. So I just wanted to give...
the Bali queen. You have been going since a very young age.
I have.
And your mum can speak Indonesian now.
Yes. Duolingo. Woo. Okay, so the clubs that I would personally go to is Miss Fish, which is a really cool, like small little bar. Turns into a club.
Where is this though?
That's in Canggu. Okay. Oh, actually, I think it's more in Barawa, but yeah, close to the Canggu area. Friday at Morabito is so much fun, and you actually can't see this place online really anywhere. Like they don't have an Instagram yet. It's always packed. It's always cool. I'm actually DJing there, so I'm really excited for that. Saturday at Savaya, which is in the Uluwatu area. We've been there, super fun. Sunday at Damaria, also really fun, and probably one of the only clubs that are like held their ground for that long. So they're in Seminyak. And then there's this new club called, I think it's called Des Kitsum or something like that Surveyor has just opened. So I'm really excited to check that out. It's in Canggu. So it's like, so they've opened that there. I haven't been, so I can't really recommend it, but I'm excited to try it.
Taboo.
Taboo, super fun as
in
well.
In Uluwatu.
100%.
Because they're a restaurant, like my favourite thing about it is Mexican, Japanese
yes,
restaurant.
that is my
turns
favourite.
into a club.
Yeah, so it's got triple whammy. And then day clubs, like I'd probably say Palmilla. We went there. It's like near Uluwatu, super beautiful, really chill vibes. Like they have a DJ, but it's not a party vibe at all. Mari Beach Club, which is in the Seminyak area, super beautiful, super new, same thing, really chilled. And then I would probably say Potato Head's still really fun as well, and it's still kind of like kept its ground to be fun.
I just don't really like Potato Head. It's just.
But when's the last time you went there? It's probably like a long time ago.
Yeah.
They still have cool events there, and it's still pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll have the best time. I wish
on the
I
Bali
was
tour. But yeah, that's all. But the only other thing that's happened to me this week is that I have had a new ick unlocked.
Nice.
And it is men in puffer jackets. Men in puffer vests.
Puffer vest.
I can't.
It's very like Jock wears puffer vest. It's very private school boy.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Well, at least your friends do. Admit your friends do.
It's definitely, I don't think it might be a city thing.
Bros.
Yeah, it's a finance bro thing. And oh my God, that just like reminds me of that. Looking for a man in finance. 6'5", blue eyes.
We just got sent in an infy moment from a listener. Walked outside on a Saturday morning to find my drugged up ex wanking beside the bins, high as a kite.
Wait, what? The fuck?
Whilst watching porn on his phone behind the bins, it was also light and any of the neighbours could have seen.
Wait, so an ex?
Yeah, they're not together anymore.
Oh my God, that is so fucking weird. Oh my God.
That is so
I can't.
weird.
I can't.
That's actually so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing for that person.
So embarrassing.
Sucked in.
And what's your Infi moment?
My Infi moment
You got
isn't...
caught wanking behind the bin.
I didn't. Thank you very much. My Infi moment was actually a guy asked me to get coffee, and at first I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I told a couple friends, I was like, oh, you know, like I might get coffee with this guy. And a friend goes, oh my God, that's so funny. I think it's the guy that mutual friend took home the other weekend. And I was like, oh, I won't bother. Because you know what I'm like. I would never, like, I just don't want to cross-contaminate. No stepping on toes.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just lied to him. Well, I didn't lie. I just said to him, I'm just a bit hungover. I don't want to get coffee. Anyway, I left it at that. He was trying to reschedule, but I was like, no. I just didn't reply. He then sends me a message. Do you normally tend to give your number out and then ghost them?
Oh, she's a fuck gal.
And I was like, what the fuck? I go, if I'm honest, I mentioned we were going to coffee, found out you slept with a friend. He goes, oh, for God's sake, you're joking. I've just checked and I've not slept with anyone you follow on Instagram. I don't have this person on Instagram, so like, thanks for checking in. Regardless, I'm very much single and would like to grab coffee if you'd still like to. It's only a coffee. It seems very small if someone is kissing and telling, haha. And I just was like, oh, sorry, like I don't actually have them on Instagram. Like I have Instagram as more of my network. Facebook is family and friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems like you don't want to get a coffee, so I'll leave it to you. Next time I'll make sure to be a fortune teller and mind reader.
Oh God, he sounds so intense.
Yeah,
you don't want to go to someone.
Yeah, I was just like, sorry, I was just trying to be respectful. Anyway, it keeps on going. Okay, whatever. As I previously said, I'm single. It just keeps on going, and it's
You're
just
like, I get it. Shut up.
Yeah,
Bye.
the persistence is just like, I'm not interested. What do you not understand about that? And being aggressive towards a woman or like being sarcastic to a woman is not going to persuade them or guilt them into going on this stupid fucking coffee date.
Like, fine then, okay, fine.
So I just said, like, I think we communicate really differently, and I couldn't imagine how you'd speak to me if, you know, we actually knew each other.
I would just stop replying.
Yeah, I ended up stop replying because then he sent me like a paragraph, and I was like, this is just weird. But
that is weird.
I just feel like if guys are listening, like, what's the point of being aggressive? Like, you're not going to get your way.
Yeah.
Spitting the W, you are not going to get your way, and it's not attractive.
It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, for
You're
sure. No, I
crazy,
agree.
mate.
Well, that comes into my Iffy story, but I'm actually going to tell an Iffy story of one of our best friends because I feel like it ties in with a few things that has happened to me in the like recent times. So she went to like a dinner with a bunch of friends, and there was some like famous football player. I think football there, it's like soccer. And they got along just chatting. Anyway, she goes home a week later. They don't exchange anything. A week later, he goes through and likes all her photos and likes all her stories. He is married with kids. Why? Like, why would you do that? And she's like, she voice noted me.
What country is this?
London.
Yeah, right.
She
Feral.
voice noted me, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting her to be like, and now they're going on a date. And then she said that, and I was like, what is wrong with men? Like, why would you do that? And then she screenshot it, and she was like, what the hell? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, she's like, why would you do that? And how did you find me on social media? Like, you knew my first name, but it's just a lot. I don't know. Guys are just shady as fuck, especially if you get married and kids. Just like that stuff's, you know, you can screenshot that. You can send it to Daily Mail. You can fuck them up. But anyways,
Literally.
men suck.
Well, not all men suck,
Not
because
all.
our guest, he's, I wouldn't say
Good at relationship advice.
I wouldn't say the wisest at relationships, but he could be up there with an expert badge because he has been on a love show and now he has a dating podcast.
Welcome, Josh Moss, to A Bit Rogue.
You said it perfect, Tori. Your
Thank
co-host was too scared to say my name, apparently.
Josh Mosh.
No.
We're rebranding.
Yeah.
No,
JoshMosh.com.
Let's not start that. Let's not start that. Sounds like a
So do you
porn
want to
site or
give us a
something.
little rundown about yourself, what you're currently doing and what people know you from?
Yes. Okay. Well, thanks so much for having me, guys. My name is Josh Moss, Moss, and I what do I call my a bit of like a media personality, I guess. I was on a TV show many years ago now.
6 years. I did my maths.
Whoa, you've done your research. Nice.
I did watch that season.
Did you? Did you like it?
I did, and then I didn't watch any after that.
Actually, so many people say that. They're like, we just watched the one.
It was because it was like the debut Australian.
Yeah.
We should probably say what it is. Love Island.
Love Island Australia. Season 1, which was 2018, and now like I work a bit in TV. I have my own podcast as well, so bit of here, there, and everywhere. Not doing OnlyFans yet, like a lot of the other reality TV people. Yeah, so maybe.
Burn.
Wait, no, you two don't do OnlyFans, do you?
No, but no shame.
No shame.
We love
I'm
our
just
OnlyFans
like,
gals.
say yeah, but
you should have said yes.
no, I'm not at that stage in my life yet.
Yeah.
So it's been 6 years since Love Island. Do you see yourself now where you wanted to be in 6 years' time, since you won the show, right?
No, I didn't win.
What?
I came third.
Did you?
Yeah, I came third, but like,
Isn't it equal second?
no, our one was actually shot live. So all of them now are not shot live. So basically, when we were there, it was they'd shoot a full day and then they sent it to the editing team, and it would go out to the Australian public a day or two later. So it was essentially live. So we were like locked off. Whereas now they
Do a fake one, don't
they
they?
shoot the whole
Yeah.
thing and then they edit it. Like they have like 6-7 weeks to edit it, then they show it out to the public. So it's actually not live. Whereas ours was like full live. We were locked off, didn't know what the public thought of us, and
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
yeah, Channel 9 probably gonna kill me that I just said that. Whatever.
Whatever. Your NDA's done, baby.
Yeah,
It's been 6
yeah,
years.
later.
No, I don't think I could fake a like celebratory, like even if it was. Yeah, I just couldn't. Because I've seen some tears. Can you
Really?
can you rip out the tears when you don't know you've won?
Fucking hell, the tears. No, I definitely couldn't.
But do you see yourself like? Are you where you thought you would be 6 years later?
Honestly, like when I went into the show, and I didn't really have any expectations because we'd never had a season in Australia before. I'd watch a bit of the UK, but like as you guys know, like the international scene compared to Australia with anything is much smaller than what you get. So I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I was just fed up with dating, sick of the apps, sick of like going on crappy dates, ghostings, catfishings. I got a couple of catfishings and I was like, I'm done. And then I heard an ad on the radio and it was like, do you want to go overseas, skip a Australian winter? Do you want to live in a mansion? Do you want to go
Yes.
like date a
Yes,
boatload
yes.
of hot singles? Do you want to get paid for it? I was like, holy, like
Yeah,
this is
because
amazing.
you're 25, right?
I was 25,
That's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're like borderline where your frontal lobe hasn't fully developed yet. So you're like, fucking oath.
It still hasn't developed. I'm waiting for it. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I'll just go home, applied. Didn't really think much of it. Didn't even care if I got on because I was like, I don't know, like I'm doing my own thing,
What
whatever.
have you got to lose?
What have I got to lose? Who
Yeah.
cares? Fill the application. Didn't even care about any of my answers, which I think actually worked in the end. And then I got a call back literally next day and they were like, oh, send in a couple of photos and a couple of videos. And I was like, oh, videos, like really, like, yeah, just talk a bit about yourself. They sent me a bunch of questions and I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm not doing videos. And they called me like another 3 times, like, come on. I was like, all right, set the camera up in my mate's room because it had better lighting. Walked in, filmed it, and then just felt like the world's
So
biggest
that was
idiot.
actually the catalyst to your online career, finding the lighting.
The lighting. It was all the lighting. It wasn't you, it was the lighting.
Yeah, I know. We know what good lighting can do.
So
Come
you
on.
obviously worked a lot on social media after the show. How do you make an income now? Is it from hosting? Is it from the podcasting? Do you still work on socials?
Yeah, so like I have a few different avenues where I make an income. So like social media is pretty big. Like I make a decent amount of money.
So that's your main source of income?
That's the main source of income.
Yeah.
And then the podcast does pretty decently now as well. We make a bit of income with that as well. And then I work with Channel 9. So like I host a show with Channel 9. I've got a text with Josh and Flex, which is like the recap show.
Oh, yeah. I've
For Love
seen
Island.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they've used me on a couple other things. Like I hosted the behind the scenes of the ARIA Awards, like interviewing all
cool.
the winning artists and stuff like that, which was really, really cool. And then they've used me on a couple other things as well, where I just jump in and do some stuff. So yeah, a bit of all that stuff, which is cool.
Did you do something with Abby as well?
Yeah, I
Like
did a show with
TV
Abby Chatfield as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, which was
nice.
pretty interesting. She's a nice girl.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
She's a lovely lady.
She's ripped into me once or twice online, but I think we're
really?
cool now. I think we're cool now.
I
yeah.
feel like,
gotta
yeah,
take it.
she's definitely one of the gals that'll
I'm scared.
rip you a new one.
I'm actually quite scared. Of
No,
her.
Rich to me, I was fucking Toey for a boyfriend, and then then she came out with him, or hasn't publicly, and I was like, fuck,
Yeah,
no.
she's rattled.
Yeah, I'm like,
Wait, you were Toey on her boyfriend?
yeah, before he was her
Oh,
boyfriend.
okay.
Yeah, but I
Maybe
just,
while I was yelling.
I just had
Who
like
knows?
a quick side note. Like, I just had this weird inkling, and I asked him one day. I was like, "Are you hooking up with Abby?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "See ya." I'm so scared right
Yeah.
now
How did you even know that? You just, I don't know.
I feel like
because he
someone
was
in-
meant to come on the podcast, and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go on Abby's," and I was like,
Oh.
Okay then.
"All right, so you're getting some, aren't you?"
So you have heaps of girlfriends, which we
Whoa,
love.
whoa,
No,
what
the girls that are friends. Girls that are friends. Sorry, that came across wrong.
This is the biggest stitch
No,
I've
no,
ever.
no, no.
You're like, and we're bringing them out
And
here
they're
now. I'm
bringing-
like,
they're coming
fuck,
out.
this is road.
No, heaps of girl mates, I should say. Do you feel
was so
this
good.
makes you a better person? Because I have heaps of guy friends and I love it. Like I love having two perspectives on situations and even just having that connection with the opposite sex is
I
like
think it
actually
keeps the
super lovely.
dynamic of our group very grounded
Yeah.
as well, having
Yeah.
the guys and girls.
So do you think it makes you a better person?
Like
Do you
going
like
for walks or, you know, knowing how to like navigate dating, do you find it easier having girls on in your corner?
Yeah, I'm just the total package. No. Like, yeah, it definitely helps having like, you know, friends of the opposite sex. But it can get to the point where if you are super close to someone of the opposite sex, it can get a little bit suspicious. But like,
Yeah.
I do have friends who are just girls and
Yeah.
they just have a normal friendship. You know what I mean? But
100%.
it does help because I always call them up and
Yeah.
come to them for advice. You know, sometimes it's not the best advice,
Yeah.
and sometimes I don't take it. And I get really annoyed. But like,
at least you get it.
yeah, like it does definitely help because, you know,
100%.
when you're talking.
It's nice just to have like a different perspective as
Yeah.
well because the boys are all like, oh, for the boys.
Yeah,
I notice a lot of the boys come to me for advice and I'm like, oh, I like this.
Yeah, even when the boys talk to us, I feel like they are better in their relationships because you can be
Yeah.
like, no, shut up, you're actually in the wrong. Like one of our
Yeah.
friends was liking girls' photos and he was like, I just don't understand. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot.
Just don't do it.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. And without us being like, you're in the wrong, he just thought, oh, my girlfriend's fucking crazy. She's not.
Was he just liking random girls' photos?
It wasn't random girls. It was a girl that we don't necessarily get along with.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drop
anyway.
the name.
No, but there is like obviously on your podcast you were saying like, oh, people assume that there's something going on with you.
Always,
and
though.
your co-host. So one of the episodes I listened to, she said that she dreamt about you guys having sex, and it had to do with like book talk girlies get it because like they are spicy books, right? So like you can have weird dreams after, but nor Tori or I
Yeah, we
have
discussed this before.
we have never dreamt about the boys in our group, and like I think
the only times I have had is someone has like maybe asked me or like put it in my head like, ooh, like is something going on, and then maybe I would have a
I would
dream.
never ever want to kiss any of our guy friends, especially Red Cat Man, and I would never want to like. If I had a dream about it, I'm taking that shit to the grave.
Really?
Yeah. So like, do you think that maybe, you know, if you guys were super fucked up, you get a little bit toey?
I love how you've gone. You didn't even ask me if I was like, he's like, if you were super fucked up, would you do it? Would I? I mean, we've hooked up before.
Oh, well, there you go.
We've hooked up
I've
before.
never kissed any of the boys.
We've hooked up before.
But it's not weird.
Look, we have a pact that if we're both single by 40, we're going to marry each
If
other.
you've got a pact, it's on.
I've got a pact with a few people, but I kind of like, I'm like, hope it
You're like,
doesn't
I'm actually creeping up in years,
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
that pact's
shit.
actually getting closer and
I
closer.
think I said 30 at the start, and that's like 2 years away, and I'm like, oh, it's actually 45.
No, I think I did something that super ricked her out. She's like, you've gone up to 45 now.
Yeah.
So, look, never say never. But at this point, I think we're just... Imagine if we hooked up and then just kept trying to do the show and just like...
It
ignore
ruins a lot of things. Like, you know,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's going to ruin your friendship. And I've had that happen so many times, right? You're best friends with someone, then you hook up, and then you end up hating each other, and you're like,
Yeah.
why the fuck did we do that?
Yeah.
We need
But then
to-
there's some people that I have, like E.G. Nathan, who we were dating, and then we actually became, and we hate each other, then we became best friends.
Really?
So there's a lot of
But
different...
also, no, that's a weird one because Nathan's fucked everyone in our group except for me.
It's just...
This is Nathan. by the way.
Oh, no way.
I'm not keeping that bit in. But literally, I'm the golden egg. Just saying. I'm untouched.
She's superior.
Not superior, just like
Untouched.
just like my guy friends. Get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me. No, I just think being that close and like being able to joke like that, obviously you've had something in your brain or you've obviously kissed before.
Yeah.
But do you think then it makes it hard to date? Because even for us, like, I think we have to be like, you know, we have close guy friends and that's a non-negotiable for us. Like, that's a part of our life. But for you, it's kind of like, that's your best friend. That's someone you've actually hooked up with. So it's kind of like,
It does blur the lines a little, doesn't it? I mean...
Have you had someone say it to you?
Yeah, I've had girls be like, what's going on? You know, even Cassidy uploaded a TikTok the other day. It was like, who does the public want you to be with? Or who does people in your life want you to be with? And she like pulled me in. So like, we kind of like play up to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but for the engagement or for real?
no, it's just kind of for a bit of a laugh. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
The engagement.
Didn't want to say it for the clout. No, we're just like having a bit of fun with it. But look, I think at this point we're such good friends that,
Yeah.
you know, never say never. You know,
I
maybe
feel-
if we're super fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like any like guy-girl relationship, like as a friendship, people always presume that you're dating. Like, because a lot of people don't. I think we're out of the norm, right? Like a lot of people only have same-sex friends.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very,
it's
very
actually
common.
very uncommon in your late 20s or 30s up there to have, you know, mixed gendered.
Yeah, it is. And we think it's normal, but like even one of our close friends, like I didn't have any girlfriends before you. And I was like, really? I was like, that makes sense.
I actually like didn't have any girlfriends till I was like after the age of like
Yeah.
26.
Interesting.
I think we're just, I don't know, where we grew up, it's very like sport oriented, community oriented. Like it was kind of normal for us to be like that. But
No, it's good. You should have friends of the opposite sex.
yeah, so
know.
we're bringing the breaking the stereotypes in the East,
Yeah.
breaking everyone in.
And like if you hook up, you hook up. Like let's not put so much pressure on it. You know?
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
honestly, like if you hook up with a friend, like who cares? Like why do we, you know, let's not
I
put
don't
so much
know.
pressure on
I
it.
don't know.
I think with friends, you need to have boundaries.
Yeah, you need to have
Yeah.
boundaries. You need to have respect and like
Okay.
morals and all that kind of stuff if you're going to go into
Josh
those
has walked
relationships.
into like a therapy.
yeah.
Oh,
Stop
So
kissing
you're
your
not
friends.
right.
No, I need a
Stop
lot-
befriending people you want to fuck.
I need a lot of therapy.
So you're the co-host of No Hard Feelings. Do you have any dating advice for us gallies?
Oh God.
We want to hear it. How can we meet our man?
So many people message me like, hey, like, can you give me some advice? I'm
Like
like, we're
randoms?
like no expert. Like we literally
of
say in our
course.
bio, like we are like the biggest two idiots in the world.
but
Don't take our advice. if
It's
you-
always nice hearing another person's
No, I know.
perspective though.
I would say like, don't put so much pressure on yourselves. I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty basic, I guess, but I would say just kind of go with the flow and stop like thinking, oh, I haven't met Mr. Right and I'm waiting for Mr. Perfect. Like just kind of go with the flow and have fun. And I feel like it's so cliche, but when you just stop expecting something comes out. Like, you know, when you go on a holiday or you go away for something and then it's a really bad time to meet someone and you
Yeah.
always meet someone.
Always, every
Always.
single
You're like,
time.
I'm going away in 2 weeks and then you meet someone like amazing with 5 days to go.
Yeah.
Like, why does that happen? It's because
Yeah.
you're like, I don't want to meet
'Cause you're
someone now.
chilling.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're
I mean,
right.
I feel like that is like a good outlook of what you should have all
Yeah.
the time, but it's obviously easier said than done. because-
100%.
Yeah.
No, it's always when you're not looking that you find.
Exactly.
You just slipped up before saying that you're seeing someone. So do you go exclusive after the first date? Are you open to other people when you are seeing someone? What's the 411, Dom?
Wow, the exclusive chat is very intense. I haven't had an exclusive chat for a long
But
time.
you mentally, do you just seclude yourself or?
I like if I'll see someone and it probably takes me like 3-4 dates to be like fully set on someone. So like while I'm still dating, I'm talking to like
Other
different
people, yeah,
girls,
yeah.
you know, just seeing what's out there and stuff like that. So for me, like the exclusive chat just comes when it feels right. And saying that like you don't want to be like date 45, you know, still
Yeah.
playing around. But I guess that I don't even know if I have the exclusive chat.
Yeah,
We
do
just
you think at this age, like, it needs to happen? Or surely there's just,
or
like...
are we just fucked up toxic?
Yeah.
No, I reckon if you don't
No.
say it, guys, we'll just
Yeah.
go for gold.
But
Yeah,
with
that's
my
true.
ex, when I started dating him, we hadn't had an exclusive chat. We hadn't had anything. And then I made it like a joke. I was like, hi, you have to ask me to be your girlfriend first. He said, what do you mean? You are my girlfriend. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know that. Like I've been talking to other people the whole time. So like I was wigged out because he didn't think we needed to have a conversation at all, even about being each other's, like being in a relationship with each other, let alone like exclusivity. And I was like, oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's such
boyfriend.
a big thing. Like, is that super old school to be like, I want you to be my girlfriend. Here's a rose.
But
you know
also
what I mean?
we're getting older as well. I get it when you're like early 20s. You're like, can you be my girlfriend? Can you be my boyfriend? But now it's like, yeah, do we do that? Like, do parents do that? Like, if you're dating when you're like 50, 60s, like, do they have the exclusivity chat?
To be honest, like where I feel like I would be is like I would need to have the chat because like I'm not looking to marry someone like
At all?
not right now.
Oh, yeah, fair.
I'm just
Oh my
chilling,
God,
babe.
I am.
Not right now.
Wait till you get to your late 20s.
I am.
No, I don't
Looking
want
for
to
my husband.
like I'm not, you know, right now if I was to be with someone, like it just would be like I want them to just be my friend and like just casual, like
It's a casual hookup.
yeah,
Okay.
and like I think if they thought that, you know, it was a done deal, then I wouldn't be hanging out with them.
Yeah.
You know, unless I happened to stumble across someone that I was like, okay, I'm gonna marry you, like potentially.
Have you ever had that where you stumbled across someone and you're like, oh my God, every box ticked, I'm madly
Yes.
so keen?
I think every girl from like literally 14 right up to like 50 does that. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's less common these days to have that exclusive chat. I do. I feel like it is. And I don't know if that's like a culture thing with social media, having access to talking to so many people. Like if you have that exclusive chat, then that kind of like means you should stop talking to everyone. You know? So I feel like a lot of people these days don't want to have that exclusive chat because then technically you haven't put that label on it. So you can keep talking to people.
Yeah, I find it as well, just like the dating game has changed so much, especially since COVID, because everyone, as you said, is more accessible. And everyone is, like we were just chatting about it before, like everyone, like no one, a lot of people don't believe in true love. A lot of people don't believe in marriage. Or, like a lot of people just want to be single and just live their lives. And I'm like, what happens when you get 50 and you're like, oh, I'm alone?
I don't know if I'm super cynical, but I've really struggled to believe in true love.
Yeah.
I really do. Like I have been to a couple of weddings. I'm not going to say whose they are, but I'm just up there and they're like, people are crying and stuff. And I'm like, what's doing? Is everyone
also,
sweet
like,
or
I
what?
know
No, you are the problem. It's you. It's you.
What? What do you mean?
No, weddings are the fucking bomb.
No, but I'm like, are you like, why is everyone crying? I don't really get
because it's
it.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I don't know, like maybe.
As soon as I see the bride, I'm in hysterics. And like when they're just like, you know, exchanging vows, I'm like, that is just to be loved like that is just so beautiful. And I think I love love. But right now I'm in my fuck girl era.
But I'm just like, is these days, is true love actually exist? Or do people just find like,
I reckon it does.
you know what I mean? Or do people just find like, oh, this person fits my criteria.
Yeah.
Let's just cop it.
Well,
you know?
I think that there's a lot of people that just settle for less, which is
Yeah.
like, I find a lot of relationships of like friends or people that I know, I'm like, this is literally a shit relationship. But you think that, especially for women, because you get to 28, 29 and you're like, holy shit, I'm running out of time. So then they just marry that person that it's easy. But like for me, I'm not
That's
doing
terrifying.
that. Yeah, it's terrifying. And a lot of people's relationships I find are bad ones and they're not good and they've cheated or they've done something bad. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like how many, like you don't have to name them, but like how many of your friends do you honestly reckon have just settled into a relationship / marriage / kids?
Fuck, we talk about
I
this all
reckon
the time.
90%.
Whoa.
I reckon 90% of relationships that I know like aren't as good as they probably seem on social media or anything. There's not that many. We were talking about today.
Wow, 90%.
We have this conversation all the time, like especially it was a hard decision for me having, you know, a baby and walking away from a relationship, but I was like, do I want to feel like this for the rest of my life, or do I want to stay best friends with that person and, you know, live my life?
And find someone that's actually,
you know, it was a
suitable for
hard
you.
thing to go through, but it's like, it's worth it. And I think that's actually why I'm not in a rush to be like, oh my God, I have to get married, is because like I've got my baby.
You've got,
I'm like,
you've got a kid. So,
yeah, so
you know.
I'm not on this like time pressure. I'm just like happy doing my thing. If there's someone to hang out with, cool. If someone comes across in my life and they happen to be like, oh my God, they're the one, cool. But I don't personally have any pressure on myself.
That's actually great. Like that's a really good way. That's a really good attitude. Like the
Thanks.
fact that you can just be chilling and you're not stressing. Like, that's really good.
I don't know, in the car ride here, I was like, I haven't touched a man in a long time. Is that normal?
We're going out
I mean,
tonight.
I think that's a difference between love and something else. But yeah, no.
A lot of your post-TV time, you were obviously in a long-term relationship. Do you feel like now when you are dating, you preference people that have been on reality or have a social media following?
No, like honestly, a lot of people that I meet in social media, ex-reality TV, public figure, have their head so far up their own ass
Yes,
that
I
I
totally
struggle
agree.
to even talk to them, let alone date them. Like, I don't know how anyone in the public profile scene dates someone else with a public profile.
Yeah.
That's not me sitting here saying that I wouldn't date someone with a public
You did
profile.
that for 4 years, darling.
But we met on the show before we had a public profile. And then we just
That's right.
happened
Yeah.
to gain a following once we'd already started dating inside the show, which we were locked off from the public world. You know, like for me, I've tried to speak to people with public profiles and not even any pressure, but I just really struggled to connect with them because they just seem to be in their own kind of world, sort of arrogant vibes for me. And that's not, I'm not saying all of them are like that. Obviously, I'm not blanket stating that, but for me, like I always find myself just gravitating towards people without a public profile.
So if
Sure.
you've got a blue tick, fuck off.
Like, what do you think, Tori?
No, I totally agree. I
Yeah.
generally gravitate towards people that aren't on social media and aren't, you know, in that world, because I've done it so many times. I've dated the DJs, I've dated the artists, I've dated the influencers and the YouTubers and whatever, and I'm like, I don't want this, like it's too much. But then you date people that aren't in that world and then they don't understand. So it's like, it's definitely this like fine line between the two of them, because people be like, if they don't have a social media presence, they might be like, why is that person commenting on your photo? I'm like, dude.
So true.
I'm like,
That's actually really
I
true.
can't control that. So yeah, it's definitely, it's interesting. It's hard. It's nearly harder to find someone because you want someone that's like kind of in between, understands
no,
it, but
no,
not
that's
in the public eye.
Such a good point. I didn't even think of that. That's actually a big factor as well. Like, I would love to date someone with a profile. We could travel, you know, upload travel content, live the life. You know what I mean? Like, travel to Brazil or wherever
No,
we
yeah.
are, upload the
It's a
mad
dream.
beach photos.
Because no one else is allowed to do that.
No, like you know
No,
what
I know what you
mean.
mean.
Like, you know, get the mad content.
Get
like,
the
that's so
hotel
sick.
collab.
Like, that's so cool. Imagine that. That's like mad. But
Yeah.
it just, in reality, for some reason, it just never
Yeah.
works. I don't know why.
Nah, I feel
It's not
you.
me. It must be everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
honestly, everyone else is a problem.
Yeah.
Well, that takes me off the block because I don't have a blue tick. Oh, actually, no, I could be.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were the
You can
bachelor,
pay for the blue
I
tick
could
now.
be-
Yeah, you can just pay for that shit now anyway.
So we are in to your rogue moment.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Have you come prepared?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I don't know if like this is like exactly what everyone else has done, but I mean,
Everyone wigs out. They're like, oh
nah,
no.
whatever. I have no shame anymore.
Nah,
Seriously, like I
the
don't
rogue
care.
the better.
Yeah, no, so probably like 6-7 years ago, I was in Vegas traveling with a couple of friends.
Love a Vegas
We
story.
love a Vegas story.
Vegas, baby. And we were out at a nightclub, and T-Pain was performing on the stage, and he had a whole bunch of like backup dancers there.
Nice, get low.
Kind of caught eyes. Yeah, fell in love with a stripper. And then I saw like a dancer, and we made eye contact, and we had a couple, like after the show, she walked down. I got a drink with her. We like hung out for a bit. She was American, and then I was like, let's just, you know, it was like 3-4 a.m. I was like, let's go for a walk. She's like, all right. We went for a walk, walked into the Caesar's Palace, and walked up an escalator that was blocked off. I don't know why. We were drunk, and we walked up there, walked up another escalator, walked up like 4 levels, and saw like a museum. And we walked towards a museum, and it was kind of just like, it was shut down obviously, but the garage door roller thing was open. And we walked in there, and we started hooking up. And I was like, fuck, this is pretty, like, I feel like I can get arrested for this. Like, this is kind of,
It's America. It's just
this
scary.
is kind of so fucked up. And she's like, no, like, it's the best story. Like, come on, you're meant to be arsey and do whatever. I'm like, oh, so I don't want to be a prude. I was like, all right. So we started hooking up, and then we ended up having sex, like, in the museum
Oh my
in
God.
Vegas. And then, like, midway through, we heard, like, banging and all
Oh
this
my
commotion,
God.
and there were security guards sprinting after us, and, like,
Were you naked at this point?
we were naked, yeah. And then I pulled like my pants up, put my t-shirt on, shoes on, and we both just sprinted like into the museum. We were just running through this museum.
Oh
It had like
my
all
God.
these like, I don't know, dinosaur like cutouts or whatever. And then we found a back exit and just ended up going like through 3 or 4 back exits and just sprinting out
Oh my god.
out the back door.
That is so
That is
random.
that is
Yeah,
rogue.
yeah. And then I was like, oh, well, anyway,
good story.
nice to meet
She-
you.
yeah.
And that was it.
No
and then I
way.
didn't get her Insta, I didn't get her anything, and that was just
Oh my
it.
god.
So if
Oh,
you're
I love that.
if you're listening to this podcast and you're a backup dancer for T-Pain,
Come follow
It's good.
at Josh
You lost
Mosh.
love.
yeah, I don't know. So that was like just what came to mind straight away.
Oh my god, that is rogue.
I feel like
Love
everyone's
that.
everyone's had a weird story like that.
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah.
Mine was like on a beach, and I was like, oh, I'm never gonna see him again. And
Let's run.
then I was watching the telly, and I was like, ah, there he is.
Who was yours? Oh,
Yeah.
That is so
Go
funny.
Monster.
Team Monster.
He actually messaged me not long ago, and this was like 8 years ago. Anyway, so every single guest, we have a game. And today we are doing Josh's type, hot or not.
Yeah, let's go. Keen.
Has a social media following and a public profile.
Well, you answered it before.
Not.
Yeah, not.
It's so like it paints me out to be such a prude. But yes.
Has been on reality TV before.
Hot, obviously.
I thought you'd say not for sure.
Well,
Has more close guy friends than close girlfriends.
I mean, like as a girl,
Yeah.
has more close. Oh, probably not.
I
I'm out. Has a basic lifestyle such as matcha drinking, slick buns, Pilates lovers, dinners at Toddy's, and wears stacks on a walk.
I was gonna say, I reckon hot. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, it is hot. That's his
I
type.
reckon
Yeah.
Basic, baby.
The
Oh, you
more
live on
basic,
that
the
side of the
better.
bridge? Perfect.
Yeah, the more basic, the better. Oh.
Gets the ick by reality TV shows and blue ticks.
Probably not. Come on, like you can't just get the ick just from that. You know what I mean? Like you
But
got
you
to
can
meet them.
change them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not investing in a project.
Savage.
Well, thank you so much for coming
No,
on.
thank you guys. That was actually really fun.
Oh, yay.
Thanks.
We didn't see your sweat patches.
Show them.
That's
You're
a
not even that-
thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
Okay.
fucking bully me.
Do you do thumbnails? We should do a thumbnail.
It's because Josh is just so sexy and nervous.
I've got a hot under the collar.
He keeps touching my toes.
Do I actually?
Yeah.
I feel like I've accidentally touched it at least 3 times.
Yeah, but I like that. Get the party started.
Thanks for listening to A Bit Rogue, where we uncover the stories of athletes, artists, and celebrities with their most rogue moments. Episodes dropping every Wednesday.